Hey Michaela, so this is the same kind of problem that you're working with. The numbers are different, and so just apply the same process with your example. The first thing I want you to do is to find the three numbers that you need. And in this example, that's going to be the 3,900, the 5.75%, and 13 years. So take those three numbers and you're going to write them down on a piece of paper or something. Okay, and then the other thing that you're going to write down is this formula right here at the top. Y equals a parentheses 1 plus or minus r to the power of t. And it looks a lot more complicated than it is. So those three numbers that I told you to write down, they represent these three letters. So A represents how much money or the amount that you're starting with. It could be money. I think in our example, it was like trees or something. R represents the percentage, and we're going to turn that percentage into a decimal. And then T represents time. So then these are those three numbers that I got from the problem that I just read to you. And so A is 3,900, R is 5.75%, and then T is 13, I think it was years. All right, and the first thing we're going to do is we need to change this percentage into a number that can be plugged into this formula. And so all we have to do is take this number, 5.75, and divide it by 100. And that's going to give us the correct decimal that we can then plug into our formula. So when I divide that, it's going to give me 0.0575. It's going to be an even smaller decimal than we started with. And that's what we want. So again, take whatever number is the percentage and divide by 100, and that's going to give you a new decimal that we are then going to plug into our formula. All right, the next thing you have to decide is whether you're going to use a plus or a minus, and it's based on whatever wording is in the problem. So if I go back to my problem, it says decreases by 5.75%. So that means that I'm going to use a minus in my problem. So my formula is going to look like this. Minus r to the power of t. If it said increases, then I would put a plus sign. From there, I'm just going to take my three numbers and plug them into my formula. So I'm going to start with y equals. A is how much I started with. The 1 is always going to be there. Subtract. R is going to be this new decimal. And then T is going to be 13 years. And then from here, I can take all of these numbers and type them into my Desmos calculator. So to do that, I click right here on the calculator, and then I literally just type it in exactly how I have it. So 3,900, 1 minus 0.05, 0.0575 to the power of 13. And to get the exponent, you can click on right here, this xy will let you get the exponent. Hit enter, and it gives me this number right here. So I'm just going to use the numbers in front of the decimal because it wants me to round to the nearest square kilometer. That just means the whole number. So 1806. So 1806. I'm going to go ahead and push check. And boom, there you go. So again, you're using this formula up here. Find these three things. Look for the word that tells you whether it is increasing or decreasing, and then you plug them in.